alive?
Give it a good 10 seconds or so, because we'd want people to join us, and also we'd want that there is no delay in our feed. Usually takes time. Yeah, now I think we'd be live. So the big news, breaking news that we're giving you right now on Sports Today is that the replacement for KL Rahul has been announced, and without any further ado, that you will come up with your guesses as to who it is. Let me tell you who the person is. Shane?
It's Ishan Kishan. Ishan Kishan has been named as the replacement for KL Rahul. So I think that pretty much dispels one thing. KL was definitely being seen as a wicket-keeping option.
Exactly. In fact, before this replacement was announced, and there were various names doing the rounds. That of Ridhiman Saha, that of people also talking about whether you needed to look at someone like a Sanju Samson.
Correct.
And at the time when all of these discussions were happening, and I was wondering that why is it that people are looking at a wicketkeeper? Because in a wicketkeeper, you've already got someone like a KS Bharat. And remember, last time India played a test match, that was versus Australia at home. Your wicketkeeper was KS Bharat, not KL Rahul. So KL Rahul is and sometimes we make a mistake of mixing up format. We start looking at KL Rahul, the ODI wicketkeeper, because he's a wicketkeeper in ODI format, and then we start saying, oh, he might be that wicketkeeper in test matches. And I know a few very prominent names have come out earlier and said that look at KL Rahul as your wicket-keeping option in test cricket. I'm not a big fan of that. I agree that it lengthens your batting to an extent. Between KS Bharat and KL Rahul, you definitely go with a Rahul when it comes to batting. But as we've seen, wicket keeping in test match, especially in an ODI game, miss stumping or a miss catch may not lose you a game, though many will argue that it does. Having seen a few missed opportunities in the IPL, this is the point or the time to cue someone like Dinesh Karthik's name. But it's happened in the IPL. One or two drop catches or missed chances have cost you a game. But I think the scope of you losing a game when it comes to a wicket-keeping error just becomes that much more in test match cricket. So I'm not a big fan of having a batsman just do the job of a wicketkeeper. But so KL Rahul clearly is not something that I was looking as a wicketkeeper batsman. However, now as Shane points out, that it's clear that the Indian team management may have been looking like that. But the only argument I'd have for that, Shane, is the fact that Ishan Kishan is not a makeshift wicketkeeper.
Exactly.
So in that sense, you are going in with a proper wicketkeeper batsman. So then I don't have too many issues. I know we'll talk about Ishan Kishan's form and whether he was the right candidate a little later in the video. But for the moment, they have gone with someone like an Ishan Kishan. That tells you that you were looking as a wicketkeeper batsman replacement, or KL Rahul was being looked at as a wicket-keeping batsman.
As the backup, basically, because I think they weren't that confident with how KS Bharat had done, at least with the bat. And truth be told, even behind the stumps at times he was iffy. There were times he'd be good.
But
then there were
sometimes
times,
he was very good.
Yeah, sometimes he was very good, but then there were other times he wouldn't be assertive enough in asking for DRSs. And, at times against the spinners, he did tend to struggle. Of course, that might not be as much of a factor in the Oval. But I do think they were looking at keeping someone else, because, again, even his batting didn't inspire that much confidence. Although, again, in his defense, those are terrible conditions to bat in. But, yeah, I think they were definitely looking at someone who could also be a keeping option, and hence, that's why they've gone with Ishan Kishan.
I have a feeling that, again, it now looks like that the wicket-keeping option was being looked at for KL Rahul, but I feel there was more as, and even Shane mentions the backup, I think they were convinced that KS Bharat was going to start because you needed a regular wicketkeeper batsman, despite whatever you may have an opinion of KS Bharat, the batsman or a wicketkeeper. I think he was definitely going to start. True. But if you remember, in every team that you pick, you need to have a backup opener and you need to have a backup wicketkeeper.
True.
Simply because these are like specialized jobs, and in case, and we know this quite often, it happens with most teams, that if there is an injury, assuming there was an injury to KS Bharat last moment, you would need a wicketkeeper to step in. What KL Rahul afforded them was the fact that you, at that 11th hour, if there is an injury, you can have him keep, so you're not too worried about that.
True.
Secondly, what he did was also work as a middle order batsman.
Yeah.
Which would have then helped the team in case there was an injury to a middle order batsman as well. At the moment, pretty much seems like it is going to be Ajinkya Rahane that starts. And if you make the team, we pretty much were able to make that 11, including KS Bharat being there as the wicketkeeper. Now also, I feel Ishan Kishan has come in to the squad, so he's only come in as a backup wicketkeeper. So just in case there is some sort of an injury to KS Bharat just before the game, that's the only time you will see an Ishan Kishan come in and keep the wickets. Otherwise, your 11 pretty much, when I'm looking at batting and wicket keepers, pretty much done. I still have a feeling it's KS Bharat who's starting in a test match. Unless...
No, I absolutely agree, because I think Kishan, it would be a bold step to give someone a test debut. And that to a role like wicket keeping and potentially a middle order bat, I'm guessing here. But I don't know, it would have been a very big call if you're going to give Ishan Kishan his debut at the Oval against Australia, World Test Championship final. No. KS Bharat has to be the starter, and I think, he's obviously someone you brought in because in case in the 11th hour there was some sort of an injury, you could have at least told KL that, look, you've done the job in ODIs, you've done it in T20s in the past, you're going to have to do that job in tests as well. But if with KL Rahul not there, and KL, by the way, was also someone who was your backup opener.
Yes.
In a worst case, if you felt, okay, you don't want to go, you want to go with experience first, and you want to rest Gill. If you want to play Rahane and KL both, realistically, you could have actually played both of them. So I think that's why maybe they've also gone with Ishan, is that he's someone who plugs multiple holes, but is not going to be starting the match.
Okay, we'll talk about whether he's the right choice or not, because a lot of you are putting those comments, but there are a few other important updates that you must know. One, Ishan Kishan comes in as a replacement for KL Rahul. That's the big news. The other is because we were all sweating over Jaydev Unadkat's fitness. Again, Jaydev Unadkat, not one of those bowlers that is likely to start, but he would have been that backup or that left arm fast bowler that you're looking at. At the moment, they've not taken a call on him. So what the BCCI is saying that, he sustained a left shoulder injury. He tripped on the side rope. That's how he's got that injury. So he's currently in Bangalore at the NCA undergoing rehab, and his participation in the WTC final will be taken at a later stage. So at the moment, Jaydev Unadkat not ruled out. So that's the other big news that we're telling you. Apart from who's replaced KL Rahul, the other thing is Jaydev Unadkat not ruled out at the moment. The other bit was of Umesh Yadav. People were sweating over Umesh Yadav's fitness too, whether he will be fit or not in time. So he also sustained a left hamstring injury, is what we're being told. He also has started a low intensity rehab process right now, but he's not gone to the NCA, he's still with the KKR medical team. The BCCI medical team is in regular touch with the KKR medical team, and they feel that they're also monitoring his progress, and if they feel at the last moment he's not fit, then they'll look at a replacement. So even now, Umesh Yadav hasn't been ruled out, Jaydev Unadkat has not been ruled out. That's confirmed. KL Rahul ruled out, and his replacement is Ishan Kishan. So only one replacement at the moment. Now, where it gets really interesting is they've named a few standby players. So you've got Ruturaj Gaikwad, you've got a Mukesh Kumar, and you've got a Surya Kumar Yadav. So it's pretty safe to say that Mukesh Kumar, who had been part of the Indian team earlier as well, didn't get a chance to play but had been in the Indian setup. He will be that replacement if one of your fast bowlers pull out. So whether Unadkat or an Umesh Yadav is not fit, because they're still monitoring their progress, they still could be fit. But if one of them, that is Umesh Yadav or Jaydev Unadkat, at the 11th hour, if they feel they're not 100% fit and you need to look at a replacement, Mukesh Kumar is that replacement. Though if I'm not mistaken, his form in the IPL hasn't been great.
IPL hasn't been great, but I think he was a key member of the Bengal team that reached the Ranji final. So they're keeping in mind his red ball exploits rather than white ball exploits. And to be fair, he did have one good game. I think it was SRH, where he defended like about 8-9 runs in the last over. We were questioning why it wasn't, I think, Nokia or someone. They gave it to him, or it was not Ishant rather. They gave it to him, he defended it, some good Yorkers. But overall, I think they're looking at his red ball form, which to be fair is a fair call. He's been very good for Bengal, arguably their lead bowler.
Yeah, fair point. I mean, as I said, because we sometimes see what's happening in the IPL, and that's our recent memory. So we try and draw conclusions from that. But as Shane is pointing out, maybe it's the red ball format. And then a lot of time we argue, right? Why do players go play domestic cricket or Ranji Trophy cricket if they're going to be judged for Test cricket on the basis of IPL? Then there's no point playing domestic cricket. If he's done well in domestic cricket, as Shane's pointing out here, then it makes sense to go with someone like a Mukesh Kumar, irrespective of how his IPL form has been at the moment. So that's another indicator that he'd be the player who goes in. The two standby players are Ruturaj Gaikwad and Suryakumar Yadav. Now, these could have been called into the team had you not been looking at a backup wicketkeeper.
Correct.
I think it's the backup wicketkeeper option that's really, been the clincher for Ishan Kishan. That's why he's been selected. Otherwise, a Ruturaj Gaikwad or a Suryakumar Yadav would have been picked. Also, you must remember, you're going to also look at a backup opener. Now, this is the role that KL Rahul was doing pretty well. So, you need a backup opener, you need a backup wicketkeeper. You found one player in KL Rahul who could be the backup in both those situations. See, at the moment, all of us know that it is going to be Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill that are opening. So, no chance of another opener coming in. We know that KS Bharat is your first wicketkeeper. He's going to be keeping. So, no chance of anyone coming in. I think what KL Rahul allowed them the luxury that in case if one of the opener is not fit, KL Rahul can fit in there. In case the wicketkeeper is not fit, got injured right before the game, KL Rahul can do it. And so anyone now, just to answer that question, anyone now wondering why Ishan Kishan has been selected and not someone like a Suryakumar Yadav, you may have doubts over his form, but remember he was brought into the test team, only played one test match. And he's not been selected after that. So as we keep saying, you need to allow a player to continue to play for some time and then judge his form. Then that should hold true for Suryakumar Yadav also, right? So he should have ideally been there. But I think because they need that wicketkeeper and opening batsman sort of an option, which after KL Rahul there's no other option other than Ishan Kishan. That's why he has been selected. And the fact that a Ruturaj or a Suryakumar are on the backup, that's predominantly to tell you that now if there is an injury to a batsman, and you have to make a change last moment, that's when one of these players, that is a Ruturaj or Suryakumar Yadav comes in. That also puts to rest a lot of speculation because, names were doing the round of should you go back to Hanuma Vihari, should you, look at a youngster like Sarfraz because he's doing well in domestic cricket. So I think those questions have also been answered by now what the BCCI is telling us that no, in case now if a batsman was to get injured and you were to look at a backup, then it'll be a Ruturaj Gaikwad or a Suryakumar Yadav. So, and if a bowler is injured between Umesh and Jaydev Unadkat, then you got Mukesh Kumar as your option. So these are the main points of what the team is going to be looking like.
And also one more thing, I think for Sky, I think he would have been an automatic choice had Rahane's form not skyrocketed at the right time. He would have probably been that first name because he was the natural backup even during the test series. He only did, I think he was playing, he was the actual replacement for Shreyas.
And the fact that Shreyas is injured.
Yes, so I think he would have been that person, but unfortunately or otherwise, you had Rahane hit good form during the IPL. That brought him some visibility. Then people remembered, oh, he's actually done well in domestics. Experience, big occasion, why not go back? I think that's what worked against Sky.
Yes, I mean, that's what it seems like. Now to the debate about Ishan Kishan coming in and not someone like, let's say, Ridwan Saha, people are saying, or so we are only going to look at wicketkeeper batsman because it's pretty much sure that that's what the Indian team was looking at, right? Sanju, Samson, there are a few options. So what do you make of Ishan Kishan?
It's a interesting call because again, he's someone who does tend to struggle in pacier conditions. So I'm not saying that the Oval is some pacer's paradise, but it's England. It won't be say Indian tracks where you're kind of used to the ball coming on that well also. But I think what works in his favor is that he was already with the setup. He was someone who was in and about, so we knew that there was potentially, I think I remember a lot of us were saying that he should be making his debut if you knew Pant wasn't going to be available. They went with KS. But the other backup was Ishan Kishan. So I think in that sense, again, they've gone with hierarchy. They've gone with people who've been involved in the lineup, or rather the squad, and said, yeah, fine, we'll stick with him.
If you ask me, my opinion on Ishan Kishan coming in, Ishan Kishan, the batsman, doesn't inspire too much confidence in me, especially in conditions, as Shane points out, that you will encounter in England, and especially because it's red ball, where it gets even tougher
that Duke's
to
ball
negotiate.
Is gonna dance.
Any red ball, but yeah, Duke's ball all the more, but any red ball is going to move far more than a white ball. So if you're having trouble against a moving ball in white ball cricket, it's only going to get worse or more pronounced when you're playing red ball cricket. And that too, Dukes, and that too in conditions like the ones you're going to get in England. So now, with all of that put, doesn't inspire too much confidence in me. I think his wicket keeping is fine. I don't have too much to grudge him about the wicket keeping. In that sense, I think he's a better wicket keeping option than KL Rahul, the man that he's replacing right now. Right, but batting wise, he's you'd have to say slightly lower. If you were to ask me, I would look at a Ridhiman Saha as a
Exactly.
better option, but I tell you the reason why it's not worked. One, because I think the team had decided it long ago when Rahul Dravid had mentioned it to
Riddhi
Saha
himself,
that
yeah.
we're looking ahead, we're moving forward. So that was one thing that they've considered. But that is not to say that you can never go back, right? You can always go back, especially when it's the need of the team, especially when it's a one-off game. Then you can look at that because one, he's a fantastic wicketkeeper. Two, he's a good batsman, a gritty batsman in these conditions. Also in the longer format, he's shown it in the past that he can stick around and get you runs. So I think that is, you know, something that I would have preferred. But I understand, and I know there are a few mean comments about, you know, why Ishan is being selected. Does he play for the same franchise as the captain? I don't think there is any sort of conspiracy there.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why I think they've gone with it. Because they needed, and I said this earlier as well, I think they needed a dual option. They needed a dual option as someone who can cover up as an opening bat and also cover up being a wicket keeper. And there are not too many options at the moment. Remember, there's only a limited squad that the Indian team is taking there. So you need a player to get you both covered, just as KL Rahul was doing it. So imagine, as I said, you didn't need a wicket keeper, and I'm just, you know, playing that situation again. If in that situation, let's say on the eve of the game or 2 days before the game, either Rohit or a Shubman is injured. You just tell KL, come in. He doesn't have to keep. Keeper is already there in KS Bharat, but he just comes in as an opening bat. That area is covered. Now, another scenario, let's say 2 days before the game, your opening batsmen are fine, but suddenly the keeper is injured. You don't have a keeper. What do? Go to a KL Rahul, your keeping is covered. So he allowed you that dual option. And now, because you wanted to cover up now for KL Rahul, you had to go for a like. And who else at the moment who can cover up as a opening batsman and can cover up as a wicketkeeper? Nobody but Ishan Kishan. Yes, our opinion about Ishan Kishan's ability as an opening bat in red ball in English conditions, that can vary, and all of us can agree or disagree on that. But the fact is, at the moment, he seems to be that only wicketkeeper backup and an opening bat. So I think that's why they've
Yeah, I mean, they could have gone with an outside choice, maybe in a Sanju Samson, but again,
same thing, red ball,
Same
right?
thing, exactly.
What has he done in red ball cricket at the moment domestically?
That's
Again,
the problem.
if it was white ball cricket,
He'd
would
be the
ahead.
first choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be ahead. He'd be ahead of most other players, and I'm sure I have a feeling that they're going to look at Sanju Samson in white ball cricket very soon. But in red ball, suddenly you wouldn't have to. And as you said, maybe one other thing that's really helped someone like Sanju Samson, that he's been Ishan Kishan, is that he's been with the setup. So he then just comes in. But fingers crossed. Now, I don't want Umesh Yadav to be injured. I think it's going to be very crucial for the Indian team. He needs to be fit. Yes, Mukesh Kumar has been now announced as a standby, so we now know that he'll be the guy replacing Umesh if he's not fit, or for that matter, Jaydev Unadkat if he's not fit. But I don't know. I don't have too much confidence in any other backup. So batting, your backups can still cover up. But bowling, you need a fit Umesh Yadav. You need a fit Shami. You need a fit Siraj.
Yeah.
At least these three in your 11 to have a good chance of winning in English conditions.
Absolutely. I think if you have any problems with regards to any of the others' fitness,
Yeah.
then you're in a little bit of an iffy situation, because you could very well be talking about who do you play then? Then do you go with two spinners? Do you actually bite the bullet and say, okay, we'll play Jaydev even though we know his fitness? Do you go with Shardul, who's again just only started bowling recently?
Yeah.
It's tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah.
You need those three fit.
Yep. And in case there is another injury that was to happen in terms of batting, again, just to let you know that you have two backups in Ruturaj Gaikwad and Surya Kumar Yadav. So still no going back to Hanuma Vihari, and still not looking at Sarfaraz at the moment. What do you make of that?
I think they would want to maybe look at Sarfaraz, but if you're playing home tests right now, again, you want to ease him in rather than throw him in at the deep end and say, okay, no pressure, go bat, WTC final, the Oval. No, I think it would be unfair on him also.
Yeah.
You'd want to blood him in slowly but surely. And I think he's definitely someone who's on the radar. And it's a case of when rather than if.
Yeah.
But I think you'd wait for Indian tests.
Yeah. Also, what I feel is that again, it would be unfair if you are looking now for a middle order bat and you don't go with Surya Kumar Yadav.
Yeah.
Because you gave him a chance. Again, I repeat, you played that one test. After that, he hasn't played. So, two things. Either you shouldn't have gone to him. But if you have, then give him a long rope. And then if he doesn't do well, then you drop the idea. You say, no, he's not meant for longer format. He's not meant for test cricket. We want to move beyond that. I just want to draw, because sometimes what happens, we forget what a player or what his journey has been like because he ends up doing very well in one format. So, for example, we've gotten so used to Sky dominating T20 cricket, one of the best batsmen in the world right now in that format. We forget that to begin with, he was a 4-day cricketer. That's where he started making his name from. I first heard about him through reporters in Bombay while he was playing Ranji Trophy cricket.
Correct.
He was then fast tracked into becoming captain of Mumbai, and that's something that doesn't come very easily to you. So he was made captain. That season didn't go according to plan for Mumbai.
And then I think he was removed.
He was removed, yes. But then he continued to play as a batsman for Mumbai in the 4-day format. So he's done his hard yards in domestic cricket. So don't just think that he's an IPL player. He's a gift of the IPL. He's done very well. So now you want him to push to Test cricket. That's not the case. He has come through the Indian system of 4-day cricket, of domestic cricket. Yes, in IPL he's become a star. In T20 cricket he's become a star, but he's done the hard yards there. So I mean, he needs to be given a chance. And after that, if he doesn't do well, you move on. You go to a youngster and give Sarfraz or whoever else you want to give a chance. So.
Yeah, but I think you need to give him at least a fair shake before you discard him. One test isn't a fair run.
Yeah. Having said all of this, even if he was to make a replacement and come in, chances of him getting into the 11 are very, very
unlikely.
Tough.
He would have been a backup. Same as Kishan, really. Kishan is not a starter unless something happens.
Yeah.
If everyone stays fit, Kishan is your backup. Nothing else. He's your bench option.
Absolutely. So, a lot of your comments, people have picked Jaiswal or even Saha. We've tried to answer those questions.
Yeah.
I can agree. But also Jaiswal, suddenly.
It's one good season.
Yeah. Again, also not a wicket-keeping option. See, that's why they've gone with.
I think Jaiswal is saying as a backup in place of, say, someone like Ritu. But again,
yeah,
I think
but they're going to look at a middle order bat now because I think the opening backup is going to be Ishan Kishan. Yeah. If there was any backup, they're going to leave, which is why they've also been looking at Surya. So even if a Ruturaj comes, he'll have to bat in the middle order. I doubt
which is not really his.
Yeah, but he'll have to, right? Because it is Rohit and
Rohit and Shubman.
Yeah. I think that's what it is at the moment. So.
It does seem you're not making that change. Openers, it has to be those two.
So do give us a like on this video and do put in a comment as to who you think would have been the right replacement or where you think things have gone wrong as far as the team selection. We'd love to read that. Maybe take those comments a little later in one of our live shows. There's a game coming up in the IPL, so we'll be live at 7 p.m. as always, 5 minutes before the toss. So about 6:55 is when we go live. So look forward to your company then. For the moment, from Shane and I, bye bye. Take care.